Hello and welcome to the Computer Science 334 project demo for Team 28. After installing all of the necessary requirements and running app.py, you will be greeted by this login page on localhost at port 5000. We will now try and log in, however it will be unsuccessful as we have not successfully registered an account. We will now go to register a new account, where there is a specific criteria that the user needs to meet. If the criteria is not met, the user will be unable to register and the appropriate error messages will display, informing the user on how to correct their errors. We will now successfully register and then be taken back to the login page. If we take a look at the database, we will see that the information was correctly stored and the passwords were securely hashed. However, if we now go back to the register page and try to register a new account with the same username, the username will be met with an error informing them that their username is already taken. Should a user then try and bypass the login page and access the protected paths, they will be redirected back to the login page and will be met with the following error. The program will prevent us from doing so as there is no valid authentication token produced for the current session stored in the database. We will now successfully log in with the correct details that were used during the registration and will be met by the home page. If we take a look at the database again, we will see that the authentication token has been successfully stored in the database.
From the home page, we can then navigate to the search page, where from here, a user can query the database either using employee's first and or last name. However, they can also specify a certain date range by providing a starting date and time and ending date and time. Giving invalid inputs to any of these fields, such as an incorrect last name not starting with a capital letter or an incorrect date, will produce errors. Giving valid input for the first name and last name, not providing a date range, allows the query to commence. Once the query is made to the database, which is hosted on Microsoft Azure on the free package, the query may take some time since there is a lot of data to process, and the free package does not provide many resources to fulfill any queries. Once the query is complete, the user is greeted with the results of their search. The results include the number of emails sent, either in total, if no date range is given, or in a given date range. If there are multiple results for a search, such as in specifying a first name without a surname, since multiple people can have the same first name, we get a list of all employees that match the results for the first and last name, as you can see here. The top 5 most contacted employees by the searched employees are also displayed, where for employees which only contacted less than 5 people, only display employees that were contacted by them, such as Philip Platter, which only contacted 4 employees. Going back to the search page, if we make the same query but now specify a date range, in which we saw that Philip Allen specifies 515 searches, 515 emails. Specifying this search with a date, starting date, should make total emails less since we are excluding older emails. As you can see, since we specified a starting date, Philip Allen only sent 70 emails after the given date, thus specifying that a user can specify the starting date and or ending date, which will alter the query. Lastly, for the data cleaning, if we look at the database and query how many messages are in the messages table, we see that there are 71,503 messages kept in the database, which was cut down from the original 517,000 messages that was originally presented to us. Also, if you look at the two Python files, enron.py and users.py, you can also see that SQL ORM was used to make all the relational database queries. Now moving on to the graph page.
Here we have the graph interface. To your right, you can see the social network. The criteria for the social links between employees are as follows. The total number of emails between two employees needs to be 5 or more, and the emails need to be bidirectional, meaning that a back and forth communication has occurred between the employees. In the social network, each node represents an employee. You can zoom in and out for a clearer view of each employee, and by hovering over a specific node, you can see that specific employee's details. However, since we are hosting our Neo4j graph database for free, we have a time limit on how long the database shall be hosted on Neo4j Sandbox.
On the left, we have a combo box where you can select an algorithm to visualize. Firstly, we have the shortest path algorithm, which represents a graph with which the links between the employees are weighted by the number of emails sent between them. In other words, thicker links means more emails have been sent between those employees, and thinner links refers to fewer emails sent. Secondly, we have the label propagation graph that displays a machine learning algorithm that assigns labels to previously unlabeled data points. At the start of the algorithm, a generally small subset of the data points have labels. These labels are propagated to the unlabeled points throughout the course of the algorithm. Label propagation is an algorithm for finding communities using clustering, and as you can see on the graph displayed, each community is represented in a different color. Next up, we have the centrality algorithm, which uses the PageRank algorithm, which measures the importance of each node within the graph based on the number of incoming relationships and the importance of the corresponding source nodes. Nodes displayed on the graph are larger or smaller depending on how important they are within the network. And that concludes the visualization of the graph algorithms.
Lastly, when the user is done browsing the web app, they can choose to log out and will be taken back to the login page where the authentication token will be deleted from the database, and they'll need to log in again to receive access to the web app again. As you can see, the authentication token has been successfully deleted from the database. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more project demo content.